Tonight we begin with urgency, clarity, and a promise. If you stay with me, you will witness a transformation that feels impossible from where you're sitting right now. I'll take you through 7 demonic nights that unlock the shadow power within a dark chosen one, not as a fantasy, but as a map for your actual life. The first minute has to be brutally honest. I used to run from my inner darkness. I slapped affirmations over anxiety, posted highlight reels over heartbreak, and kept a smile while my soul starved. Then I went silent, no phones, no people, no distractions for 7 nights in a haunted monastery where the wind screamed like it had a memory. On the 6th night, something ancient woke up inside me. It wasn't evil. It was raw, unfiltered power that had been buried under politeness, fear, and the need to be liked. I'm going to show you how to meet your own version of that power and not flinch. This is about discipline, mystery, and relentless honesty. If you're ready, we begin night 1 right now. We set the scene fast because attention is life or death. You arrive at your threshold with a single rule: no running. The first demonic night isn't a creature with claws. It's your first unedited thought when the noise dies. You hear it. What if I'm not enough? And here's where we flip the script. You don't silence that thought. You invite it to sit across from you. We use a practice I call the Black Mirror Sit. Turn off the lights, face a mirror, breathe 10 counts in, 10 out, and ask the mirror, what am I pretending not to know? The trick is to wait, even when your chest tightens. In our first minute, we promised a teaser. Here it is. On my first night, the mirror answered in a voice that sounded like mine but older. It said, "You know exactly why you're here. Fear is data. Shame is a compass. Your shadow is a time capsule holding everything you threw away to be accepted." Tonight, we raid the vault. And we do it with pace. Every 90 seconds, switch posture, scan your body, and name the most electric sensation: heat in the neck, ice in the gut, buzzing in the fingers. Speak it out loud. Why? Because the body remembers the contracts your mind denies. Now we accelerate the story through minutes 1 to 3. Isolation collapses the distance between your conscious self and your shadow self. You cycle breath, mirror, journal 3 rotations, no excuses. The journal question is always the same: which desire did I exile to be loved? The answers are not polite. You might discover you killed your art to keep a relationship stable. You swallowed your truth to keep a job. You ditched your boundaries to avoid being called difficult. That's your first demon, the caretaker mask. It looks friendly. It rots your power. At the 3-minute mark of your life's movie, we drop a re-engagement moment, an omen you can't ignore. Maybe a memory flashes your younger self being told to tone it down. And you feel the anger you never got to feel then. We leverage that anger. Not to lash out, but to vow, I will no longer negotiate with self-betrayal. Say it with me. I revoke the contracts I never consciously signed. Mid-video intensity begins. Minutes 3 to 6 are where the stakes rise. You will experience resistance. Expect bargaining thoughts. Maybe I don't need to go that deep. Maybe this is too dramatic. That is Demon 2, the reasonable liar. It speaks in rational tones and keeps you average. So we counter with structure that scares your comfort. Set a timer for 11 minutes of shadow boxing stand. Shake out your limbs, and speak the 3 truths you've never said out loud. it will feel like your throat is closing. Keep going. Then, quick scene change, cold water on your face, lights still off, mirror again. The rhythm matters. Ritual hypnotizes the gatekeeper in your head. At the 6-minute mark, we hit the second re-engagement, a supernatural feeling event. For me, the monastery bell rang, even though no one touched it. For you, it might be the room shifting, the air density changing, a sudden smell of smoke or roses. Don't chase the phenomenon. Let it mark you. The deeper point, when you commit, reality responds. Call it psyche, call it spirit. The feedback is real. The back half of this first night, we sustain investment without rushing resolution. This is where you integrate. You sit with 3 columns on paper: shadow, gift, practice. For each painful trait you meet, you translate it into power with a practice that stabilizes it. Example, shadow jealousy. Gift capacity for devotion and discernment. Practice 24-hour no-compare fast and a deliberate praise of someone else's win. Example, shadow rage. Gift clarity of boundaries. Practice write a code of non-negotiables and rehearse saying no in the mirror until your voice is steady. Example, shadow numbness. Gift stoicism and patience. Practice return to body with temperature, texture, and weight scans 3 times daily. The payoff of night 1 is abrupt. You end the session the moment you admit the biggest truth you discovered, and you physically bow to it. Not as defeat, as allegiance. The sudden stop locks in memory. You leave the room different. The prize isn't fireworks. It's a quiet, unmistakable shift. You no longer lie to yourself at full volume. Let's widen the frame with a viral lens, because the story must move. Imagine we film you walking into an abandoned temple, neon lanterns humming, your breath fogging in the night. Idol pops, 7 demonic nights that explode a dark chosen one shadow power. The thumbnail shows your silhouette split, half light, half writhing, ink eyes open, calm. In the first minute, we cut micro scenes, you staring down the mirror, tearing up a contract with your past, stepping over a chalk line labeled fear. Our promise is simple, no fluff, only thresholds. Then, to keep the energy high, we intercut serene stillness candles, sand, slow breath with hard disruptors, drums, bell, icy water, wind slamming the doors. The point isn't theatrics, it's to mirror your inner turbulence so you feel seen. The tactic is psychological. When you watch a courageous version of yourself on screen, mirror neurons reduce your fear. You start believing you can do it. You can. Night 2 arrives like a test of whether night 1 mattered. This is where Demon 3 enters, the historian of your wounds. It drags you back to origin scenes to prove that nothing can change. Here's the move: we upgrade memory. You don't rewrite facts, you reassign meaning. Close your eyes. Replay a core humiliation, but now, stay in your body and ask, what skill was born here? People who were mocked for their intensity learned endurance. People who weren't picked learned to build. People who were betrayed learned to perceive micro-lies. This is alchemy, not denial. If you can't find the skill yet, commit to discovering it this week. Then we go practical, a 3-step protocol for historian demons. Step 1, timestamp, say out loud, I am, today's date, this is not, year of event. Step 2, identify the unfinished action, the thing you needed to say or do then. Step 3. Perform a safe, present-day echo of that action. Send the message, draw the boundary, ask for the raise, pivot the project. Your nervous system needs evidence, not slogans. Night 3 intensifies the inner arena. Demon 4 is seduction by chaos. It will invite drama right when you stabilize. You might pick a fight, binge distractions, or invent urgent tasks. Recognize the pattern. The antidote is precise. Boredom sprints. Set a timer for 7 minutes. Stare at a blank wall. Every time your mind runs, you label it bait and stay. When the timer ends, you immediately execute one needle-moving action toward your calling. Why it works? You teach your system that stillness precedes potency, not emptiness. Add a tactile anchor, a ring, bead, or coin you touch to signal focus mode. Make it ritualistic and a little dramatic. We're building association in the nervous system. Touch coin, become dragon. You will be tempted to think you're being ridiculous. Good. That's Demon 2 returning. Laugh at it and proceed. We add the mid-video spectacle here, a moment most channels don't dare. We take you to a threshold, place a locked gate on a mountain trail before dawn. You stand with an elder who has no interest in your persona. They ask you 3 questions. What boundary will you never again let anyone cross? What price are you willing to pay for your gift? What part of your identity are you dissolving tonight? Answer out loud. Voice registers commitment in the body. Then you run not away from fear, but into a sprint of purpose. At the top, you scream your vow into the wind. The point isn't noise, it's imprint. You are programming reality with your breath and blood. When you descend, you are quieter, not louder. Paradoxically, that calm will scare the older version of you. That's good. It means you're crossing. Now let's talk tactics you can implement immediately, because wisdom without application is spiritual entertainment. First, the shadow ledger, a nightly review with 4 lines: lie I told today, truth I told today, power I reclaimed, boundary I enforced. Fill it before sleep for 7 nights. Second, energy accounting. List 3 activities that drain you and 3 that electrify you. Cut 1 drainer by 20% this week. Increase 1 energizer by 20%. Third, ritual of non-negotiables. Choose 3 daily actions so small they are laughable, like 10 deep breaths on waking, 1 page of writing, 10 push-ups. Never miss. If you fail, do a repair rep within 24 hours. We are not chasing intensity, we are chasing unbroken chains. Fourth, social alchemy. Text 1 person who triggers you and bless them silently after sending a clean, boundaried message. Not because they deserve it, because you deserve a clean nervous system. Fifth, sacred work block. 52 minutes, phone in another room, 1 task that moves your destiny. When distractions arise, whisper, bait, touch the coin, return. Let me ask you a hard question. What are you pretending is complicated? That is actually a simple no. The most demonic contracts are made with vagueness. Clarity often hurts before it helps. If you know a relationship is done, a habit is killing you, a job is suffocating you, say it in the mirror tonight. You don't have to act immediately, but you do have to stop lying. Your shadow thrives on integrity. It detonates when you're fake. There is a version of you that is terrifyingly honest and extraordinarily kind. It exists. You can feel it listening to this. And yes, there will be loss. The cost of not paying that price is your life ticking away in a cage you decorated nicely. As we close this first part, the ending must be sudden and powerful. Stand up. Literally stand. Place your hand on your chest. Claim the one power you know you've buried. Say, I call you back. Take one deep breath. Slow exhale. Bow to the mirror. Even if there's no mirror, then stop. Don't scroll. Don't explain. Sit in the aftershock. This is the abrupt ending with a payoff. You just made a vow your nervous system won't forget. The next night will escalate, and it will be different from what you expect. The demonic doesn't always look like horror, it often looks like comfort that rots. We are not here to be safe. We are here to be whole. The pact breakers dawn, turning inner demons into oaths of unstoppable power. We begin where the air still tastes like iron from last night's vow. You woke up with a strange calm, a low, steady hum under the ribs. That's your shadow responding. You didn't banish it, you gave it a seat at the council. Now we push into night 4, where the pacts you didn't know you made come into view. I'm not talking about magic spells. I mean the quiet, lifelong agreements signed in childhood ink. I'll stay small if you love me. I'll be useful so I never get abandoned. I'll be perfect to earn my place. These pacts run your life like background apps, draining your battery. Today we confront them with a precise ritual that turns your inner demons into oaths that serve you. We do this with ruthless compassion, fast pacing, and surgical clarity. First minute hook. Imagine a table lit by one candle, 7 slips of paper, and a pen that feels heavier than it should. We are about to write the contracts we are breaking, and then we're going to countersign with a vow that scares our old identity. We're not being dramatic for views. We're creating memory that the body cannot ignore. Set the stage like a Miss Beast challenge, but for your soul. 7 hours, 7 packs, 7 counter oaths. Every hour, you identify one unconscious pact, write it, speak it, and break it with an action. Audience retention trick that matters for your mind, novelty plus commitment. Here's the template. Pact: I agree to stay. Behavior: so that I receive reward. Cost: this pact has cost me time, energy, opportunities. Choose a number, quantify it. Your brain wakes up when it sees the bill. Now, counter oath: I vow to, new behavior, even if it means losing old reward. Sign it with your actual name and date. Then perform an anchor act, one small behavior that proves the vow is real. If your pact is I'll be always available to feel safe, your counter oath is I vow to protect my deep work with boundaries, even if you're disappointed. Anchor act: put your phone in another room for 52 minutes and send a clear message, unavailable for the next hour, back at time. When the anxiety hits, breathe and smile. You're not being cruel, you're practicing freedom. Let's accelerate through the first 3 minutes of this part by hitting 3 common pacts you likely carry. Pact 1, approval addiction. It sounds like, if you like me, I exist. The cost is sovereignty. The counter oath: I vow to prioritize alignment over approval. Anchor act: decline one invitation that doesn't serve your mission and send a kind, unambiguous no. Pact 2, productivity as self-worth. It sounds like, if I'm busy, I matter. The cost is joy. The counter oath, I vow to value being overdoing at least once daily. Anchor act, 15 minutes of purposeless wandering without your phone, observing light and breath. Pact 3, self-silencing to avoid conflict. It sounds like, if I'm quiet, I'm safe. The cost is truth. The counter oath, I vow to speak the clean truth within 24 hours when something matters. Anchor act, pick one unresolved tension and deliver a calm, specific statement. When X happened, I felt Y. I need Z going forward. You will shake. That's power arriving. We drop a re-engagement moment at the 3-minute point. A guide enters, not a guru in robes, but a weary version of you from 5 years in the future. Imagine them putting a hand on your shoulder and saying, here's what happens if you don't break these pacts. You get what you think you want, and it still feels empty. That lands because you've tasted it. Then we invite a cinematic practice, the Hall of Echoes. Close the curtains, dim the lights, play a low, steady tone. Walk slowly from one side of the room to the other while repeating your newest counter oath. Each step louder by 5%. At the end of the room, turn and whisper it. This contrast wires the vow into multiple emotional states, intensity and calm, so you can access it under stress. Your shadow respects consistency more than volume. We ramp mid-video intensity by meeting Demon 5, the comfort siren. It sings in the language of you've done enough. Don't risk the next step. This is where most people stop. Tonight we sprint through the comfort barrier using a tactic I call threshold compounding. Pick one action that moves your destiny and break it into 3 thresholds you cross in the next 90 minutes. For example, launching a creative project. Threshold 1, pre-commit publicly, dropping first episode on date. Threshold 2, ship a raw draft to a trusted ally. Threshold 3, schedule the recording session on the calendar and send an invite. Each threshold is irreversible without embarrassment. We leverage social physics, not to trap you, but to free you from your oldest stall pattern. The siren gets quieter when it realizes you're already mid-ocean. Quick scene changes keep momentum. Cut from candlelit vows to a dawn run where your breath is steam and your footsteps match your heartbeat. Cut from your trembling hand signing the counter oath to you, laughing with relief after the first hard no. The narrative principle is simple. Identity is not changed by ideas, but by witnessed action. You need to see yourself act. The second re-engagement at minute 6 is a supernatural feeling clarity. A sentence arrives fully formed. You felt it before like a download you didn't author. Write it in all caps. For some, it comes as build the sanctuary you needed, or teach the thing you nearly died learning, or protect the wild ones. This sentence is not a slogan, it's a North Star. We'll test it. But for now, let it land. Your nervous system loves direction more than certainty. Now we move into the back half, sustained investment and practical mastery. We'll fuse spiritual fire with creator discipline because we're aiming for a viral grade life, not just a viral video. Create your pact breaker board, a sheet with 4 columns packed, counter oath, anchor act, evidence. Evidence is crucial. By end of week, you must list at least 1 proof per oath. When you feel doubt, you don't argue, you check the evidence. Add the red rope protocol. Tie a red thread or ribbon at the doorway you pass most. Each time you cross, you touch it and whisper your North Star sentence. Why the theatrics? Because your brain is a ritual machine. We're hacking habit loops with sensory cues. Add the 1% monster rule. Do one act daily that grows your courage by 1%. All the person. Ask the question. Publish the thing. Tiny compounding makes demons bored. They can't grip you when you're always moving. Now we touch the deep, vulnerable layer, the grief beneath the packs. Every broken pact was once a survival strategy that kept you alive. Honor that. Set a timer for 9 minutes. Place your hand over your heart and say, "Thank you for protecting me. I'm stronger now. I release you." If tears come, let them. That is not weakness. That is thaw. People mistake numbness for strength and wonder why they break under pressure. True strength is flexible. It breathes. Your shadow power isn't a clenched jaw. It's an eagle's wing, precise, relentless, and shockingly gentle when needed. Let me ask you a piercing question. What is the reward you're most afraid to lose if you tell the full truth? Name it. Approval? Belonging? Money? Control? Then ask, would I trade my soul for that reward? You won't like the answer, but you will respect it. The moment you choose soul over counterfeit safety, your life reorganizes. The people who can't love your truth will flinch. Let them. The ones you're meant to build with will lean in. Your shadow power wants clean alliances, not crowds. We need a spectacle moment, one that only a few would dare. Tonight, you walk into the dark with a single lantern and a small speaker playing a heartbeat at 60 BPM. You enter a circle of salt you poured earlier. In that circle, you place 2 chairs, one for the part of you that wants to hide, one for the part that wants to roar. You sit in each chair for 5 minutes and let each speak without interruption. Then you stand between the chairs and say, "I am the one who decides." Blow out the lantern. Stand in darkness for 60 slow breaths. When you relight, you move both chairs out of the circle. You are not choosing sides anymore. You are integrating force. This is how the dark chosen one grows, by refusing to exile any part and by directing them toward a single aim. We close night 4 with an abrupt but earned payoff. You perform the oath brand, write your North Star sentence on your forearm with a marker. Take a slow breath and say, "Paid in full." Then wash it off deliberately, watching the ink fade. Why wash it? Because power isn't ink deep, it's action deep. You don't need marks to remember, you need movement to become. You smile, not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Sleep will be deep tonight or chaotic. Either is a sign of rewiring. If you wake at 3 a.m., don't scroll. Sit up, touch the red rope, whisper the oath, and fall back. Tomorrow we escalate into night 5, where the demon isn't fear, it's speed. The world will try to outrun stillness. We won't let it. The next part will take you into the art of power conservation, how to hold voltage without short-circuiting your life. How to build an empire of stillness in a world addicted to noise, and how to turn your shadow into a force that heals without asking permission. Bring your coin, your courage, and your clear eyes. We're about to test your edges in a way that even your future self will respect.